everyone, I'm Amber.
And I'm Maddie.
And we're Witches Talking Tarot.
And today we're going to bring to you 5 interesting facts about Samhain.
And the origins of Halloween. Orange and black.
So I think the first thing we're going to talk about is the origin of jack-o'-lanterns.
Yes, so the origin of jack-o'-lanterns comes from this tale from Celtic lore. And it's about a gentleman named Stingy Jack. And Stingy Jack, one Halloween night, invites the devil out for a drink. They have a drink together, but Stingy Jack is stingy. So he says, how about instead of me paying, you turn yourself into a coin? Well, I'll pay for the drinks, and then you turn back into the devil, and we'll head on out of here and go, cause some trouble. And the devil's like, this sounds like a good plan. So he turns himself into a coin. But Stingy Jack is stingy. So he pockets the coin next to a silver cross in his pocket. So the devil is trapped as the coin in Jack's pocket.
Oh, wow.
So Jack holds the devil hostage for a while, and then he says, hey, I will set you free, but you got to give me 1 year. You leave me alone.
Right, because I'm sure the devil's fucking pissed.
Right, yeah, right? Like he tricked him. He's been just carrying around in his pocket.
So my question is a Stingy Jack just an idiot and didn't think about it? Or did he do it on purpose?
Maybe, I don't know, but it gets better. So the devil says, okay, set me free, and I'll leave you alone for a year. So a year later, Jack tricks the devil again. The fuck, devil? Sorry, language. We cuss a lot. Just FYI, guys. So he's like, hey, let's get together and cause some mischief this Halloween. And the devil's like, I'm down, dude. Let's do this. And so he's like, he tricks the devil into climbing up a tree and picking some fruit for them. And while the devil's up the tree, he carves a cross onto the tree. And so the devil is trapped in the tree. And now Jack says, I'll make a deal with you. I'll set you free if you leave me alone for 10 years. Can't come kill me, you can't take me to hell or anything like that. 10 years. And the devil says, okay, fine. During that 10 years, Jack dies. So he's now dead. Heaven says, we don't want you. You made deals with the devil your whole life.
Right.
You can go down to hell. Well, the devil, obviously, like you said, he's pissed. So hell won't take Jack either. And the devil curses him to walk the earth with a colt for his only light. And so
or
Jack,
warmth, I imagine. His own warmth as well.
Yeah, I guess. Do the dead need warmth?
I guess it depends on what you believe. But
What do you guys think? Tell us in the comments.
I imagine maybe the dead want and long for that warmth.
I bet they do, but can they feel it? They're dead.
Their
nerve endings are dead. Can they feel it? I really want to know. What do you guys think?
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
But so Jack carves out a turnip because they don't have pumpkins in Ireland. He carves out a turnip, he puts his coal in it, and he walks around with the turnip lantern. So what the Celts did, long time ago, not 1800s, a while back.
This is ancient.
This is ancient lore. But the Celts would carve out their own turnips or potatoes. Thank you. I was like, all I could think of was the P word was pumpkin, and I'm like, it's not right yet. We're not there yet. And that's what they put in their windows to ward off Stingy Jack and other evil beings like him.
Right.
So when they came over to America after the potato famine, they brought that tradition with them. But here we have pumpkins, which are perfect lanterns.
Well, not just pumpkins, but we also have little squashes.
Yeah, we have all sorts of gourds.
Right.
Gourds are great.
Right. So then they decided, okay, let's put it in a pumpkin.
Let's put it in a pumpkin, and that's how.
That is. Which brings us to how Halloween is going to this today, and how the Celts kind of during the mass immigration of the Irish and the Celts. I believe it was the 1800s.
Yep, 1845 is when the potato famine happened. That's when my great-grandfather came over.
They brought with them Samhain or Halloween. I believe it was Samhain at the time.
Samhain. Well, it depends. Language evolves, right?
Right,
so,
of course.
It started out as Samhain, but eventually the Gaelic language was morphed as more English came in, and that's how it morphed into Halloween from a middle word. There's a middle transition that I heard recently, but I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to say it. But there was a middle transition from Samhain to Halloween. So I don't know if they would have called it Samhain in the 1800s. At that point, they were Catholic.
Well, I mean,
they were predominantly Catholic,
right,
so they would have called it Halloween because
would it be All Hallows Eve? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Celts or the Irish are running amok in America, and that's me doing this because a lot of people were frustrated and they were like, "This is crazy," which brings us to Americans deciding, okay, we can't get rid of this, so we're going to transform it into something we like in the early 1900s.
Yes, there was a woman in Midwest area. I couldn't find her name when I was looking for it, but there's a Drunk History episode on her, so if you like Drunk History, one of their Halloween episodes covers her. She was tired of kids running amok and destroying her plants, like the tradition that was brought over of spirits destroying your crops if you didn't pay them homage.
Right, or give them good enough candy.
Right. Yeah. And so she was like, let's make the kids super tired. So let's throw a party with costumes and bobbing for apples, which we'll get to later.
We'll get to a costume.
Yeah, right? We already covered jack-o'-lanterns, but they did that at the party too. Like, just all the stuff to make the 10-year-olds through the 13-year-olds just tired at the end of the day.
Right.
And then, the first year it didn't work because the first year they still, afterward, they went crazy and they destroyed her garden. So she upped her game and she got a lot more people involved. And that is why we have a lot of the Halloween traditions that we know today.
Right, and how they've evolved and sort of become a thing. Which brings us to bobbing for apples. That was everybody knows bobbing for apples.
Right?
Okay?
I used to do it with my children. They were actually just looking through pictures of themselves as little ones bobbing for apples at a Halloween party.
So, bobbing for apples, from what I understand, well, it started out as there's divination. There's many different origin stories, but the one I'm going to talk about today was a British tradition brought over to America, and just was a big thing in the early 1900s, which is women would carve the name of the man they have a little crush on or they wanted to marry, and they would try and catch it with their mouths. Right. By bobbing for apples.
Right, because they're trying to get the one they want. Very witchy, don't you think?
Mouths are very sensual.
Right. Well, and apples are very much used for divination at this time of year, especially by the Celts. Yes. And the British, they would have been of that Celtic faith as well, like different practices perhaps. But there was a lot of apple divination, apple and hazelnut. And bobbing for apples, like you said, with looking for your loved one specifically, is the main thing that we have carried over.
Right, and it said if you caught your loved one, you would catch them and they would fall in love and they would marry you. So it's that sweet, type thing. I doubt that's what it... Well, actually in the Halloween parties, that's when they would do it, is in the Halloween parties.
Well, so that was part of... a lot of... Well, but if you think about it, if you become pregnant at Halloween, your kid's going to be born in the summertime. So by the time winter rolls around, they're a little bit older and able to withstand that winter, which we'll talk about in a future episode when we cover Yule things. But, it makes sense that Beltane through Samhain, very sexual because your children will be born in the prime time for them being able to survive that first winter.
Right. Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
And so now let's get into children, which brings us to costumes.
That's so much fun.
I know.
Halloween costumes are the best.
That's not just for kids. I'm dressing up as a gypsy witch this year.
Right, everybody dresses
It's okay. It's okay. I promise. I'm allowed to do that.
Well, the thing about costumes are they've evolved so much throughout the years.
They have. There's so many different kinds.
Right, they used to do it in the ancient Ireland, and then they did it in the 1900s, and I don't know if you've seen those horrific Halloween
Depression
costumes.
era.
Yeah, Depression era costumes.
They're the scariest costumes ever.
No, but they have these dead eyes.
If you think about costumes though, we have costumes outside of Halloween, especially for spiritual purposes all the time. Like if you think about it, a lot of different paths have rituals where the priest or the practitioner will cover their face or hide themselves, you know, so that the spirits see them as one of them. So really, like, that really ties really well into where us wearing costumes at Halloween comes from, because the ancient Celts believed that, you know, as the veil was thin, the dead could walk the earth on Halloween night. They, just like we can pass through the veil to
and
the other realm.
They either wanted to appear one of them, so not to disturb
right?
them, or make them feel welcome.
So that they could pass through without being an obstacle or something to be afraid of, because maybe you're just like new to this whole thing and you want to know what it's like to walk Halloween on the other side.
Bonus fact, people used to put, you know, little candles in their windows to draw their loved ones in and make them feel
light
welcome.
the way for them
Right.
in the dark night.
And that's where that longing for warmth and for light.
Yes, because like there's a huge, I actually just listened, and it's really more for the next video, but about inviting any dead to be welcome to get the treats at your house, and I think that's beautiful. Sweet. We'll talk more about it in the next video, so make sure you watch.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
so that was 5 facts, 5 interesting.
We still have one more, don't we? Because we did jack-o'-lanterns, we did bopping for apples, we did costumes. We
parties.
Still have, we did the parties and the mischief night. And didn't we have one more that we wanted to talk about? I think, well, just the fifth fact is the overall fact of the fact that the Celts really brought it over in the Irish way after the potato famine. Sorry, guys, we didn't name that one as kind of a separate one because it really led into everything. But Stingy Jack's such a great story.
And also, this is our second freaking YouTube video. So,
so
we're learning. Learn with us. Right.
Yes, learn with us on our Patreon.
Watch us grow. Right? Which brings us to the end of our video.
Yeah.
Check out the next video, which is going to be 5 awesome tips
on how to celebrate Samhain.
How to celebrate Samhain in a modern pagan household. Yeah. You know, or just cause, you know?
As a solitary, or because you like Samhain, like me. Like, I love Samhain. It's like my favorite, I swear.
I know, I totally understand.
Absolutely the best.
Alright, guys. Well, we'll see you in the next video. Check out our Patreon. It's going to be in the description. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Also, Instagram and